So you guys are going to laugh your ass off about this. This is great. Some Democrats float idea of primary challenge for Ocasio-Cortez. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has infuriated colleagues by aligning with a progressive outside group that's threatening to primary entrenched Democrats. Now, some of those lawmakers are turning the tables on her and are discussing recruiting a primary challenger to run against the social media sensation. At least one House Democrat has been privately urging members of the New York delegation to recruit a local politician from the Bronx or Queens to challenge Ocasio-Cortez. What I have recommended to the New York delegation is that you find her a primary opponent and make her a one-term congressperson, the Democratic lawmaker who requested anonymity. By the way, what a fucking Weasley conniving asshole told The Hill. Quote, "You've got numerous council people and state legislators who've been waiting 20 years for that seat. I'm sure they can find numerous people who want that seat in that district." Look at the sense of entitlement that they have. People have been waiting for that seat. That's not the way a democracy works. That's not the way it works at all. You have to at least pretend to care about the things that we're supposed to hold dear. People have been waiting. Don't you know it's their turn? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? No. Are you for the people or are you not for the people? Can you get them to agree with you? Can you lay out a policy vision that they support and then they vote for you or not? The sense of like, what do you mean? I've been working inside the Democratic machine all this time, so obviously I'm owed that seat, right? Only in a totally backwards, corrupt, disgusting system where these elites can't even see straight and realize what they're supposed to at least pretend to believe in. Now, by the way, I like how they don't even mention the name Justice Democrats. I've been seeing a lot of this recently, and to the extent anybody even covers Justice Democrats, I'm going to give you a little sour grapes here now, because I am a little sour over this. None of the articles have ever mentioned myself, and very few of them have ever mentioned Cenk Uygur. Even when they're literally discussing the founding of it, no mention at all. It's really strange. It's almost like they're making a decision to not cover that. Now, maybe they're not, and they're just ignorant, and they don't know, and they're not doing their basic research. Whatever the reason is, it's kind of infuriating, because then I have to go read in these articles of people who just learned about Justice Democrats like 3.5 minutes ago. I have to read what they say we're about, and they almost always get it wrong. Like, I just saw a tweet the other day that said, the real move of the left nowadays is they're trying to make Medicare for all the position for Democratic politicians so that eventually we get like a public option. Who said that? You said that. We didn't say that. You said that. As a co-founder of Justice Democrats, I will tell you very clearly and upfront, it's part of the literal litmus test because we need it and we need it now. It's not like we're playing some fucking weird, multi-step game where it's like, okay, we'll take a half measure now. No. If anything, that should have been Obama's position of, I'm calling for Medicare for all. Okay, fine, I'll meet you in the middle and we'll do a public option. And so then we can build off that to get Medicare for all for real. But no, they're now saying like the left's position is what the original Obama position should have been. And like, oh, we're just trying to get like a public option or Medicare expansion to, 55 or something that you can buy in when you're 55 or a Medicare buy-in. It's like, no, we actually want Medicare for all. Stop telling us what we believe and listen to what we're fucking telling you. So they don't even mention the name Justice Democrats. And by the way, look at how they're just shocked over this. Like, oh, Ocasio-Cortez is aligning with an outside group that does primaries. If you knew anything about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you would have known that from day one she was with Justice Democrats. And that it's because of the infrastructure of Justice Democrats that allowed Ocasio-Cortez to go out there and do a tremendous job in her own respect and flourish and get elected. But she'll be the first ones to tell you that Justice Democrats recruited her. So this idea of like, I can't believe she's aligning with this group. She's been aligned with them since day one, you ignorant fucking fools. They don't know anything and they just casually talk about it. Now, let's get to the most important point, which is, oh my God, we have the corporate Democrats now on a primary here. Good luck. Like they've done this to Ro Khanna too. There's been whispers of like, we should primary Ro Khanna. Good luck with that. Now, what did I tell you guys from the beginning when we launched Justice Democrats? What did I tell you guys? I told you guys, you just have to give people the option of populist left, and they're going to pick it. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't some giant institutional hurdles to get over, because there are. Like, for example, we're usually at a permanent monetary disadvantage in these races because we only take donations from small dollar donors. So that puts you at a disadvantage because there's no big money donors, there's no big money bundling, there's no corporate PACs, there's none of that stuff. So we're almost always going to raise less money, which makes it harder to win because it's hard to get your name out there, and nobody fucking covers you the entire time. Nobody covered AOC except us and other independent media outlets until she won. So it's a harder fight, but I always told you guys, as long as people have the option of populist left, and they know they have that option because that option is covered and presented, they're going to pick populist left. So now to watch these like ineffectual clowns trying to say like, well, maybe we'll just primary her. She's become a fucking powerhouse in the Democratic Party. Not because she's playing insider politics, but for the exact opposite reason, because she's not playing insider politics, but she's in the House. And so she's willing to fight for the people and represent the people and not play along with the party. And that's, one of the reasons why. I mean, look at how many fucking Twitter followers she has. She has more, if I'm not mistaken, she has more Twitter followers than any congressperson. So she's already a massively powerful figure, specifically because she's just fighting for working people and she's not going along to get along. So this idea of like, well, maybe we'll just primary her. Go right ahead. Go ahead and embarrass yourselves and further prove that what we did with Justice Democrats was absolutely necessary. Because we finally ran some people who care about the people that they're supposed to represent. And when you do that, and when people know they have that option, it's not even going to be fucking close, man. Go ahead, send, corrupt Joe Crowley up to run against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez again. You know what? Go ahead, play your cynical games and say, oh, well, obviously we need another young woman of color to run against Ocasio-Cortez, and if we fully fund that young woman of color, the different one, well, maybe we'll be able to beat her. Good luck, bitch. Good luck. And by the way, get used to it. You know what Ro Khanna says when, people say, hey, man, we're going to primary you. He goes, go right ahead. You want to know why he says that? Because he believes in what he's arguing for. He believes in his ideology. He believes in his philosophy. He believes he can convince the people who he's representing, here's how I'm fighting for you, and here's why you should know that, and here's the proof. Here are the bills I propose. Here's what I've been doing since I've been elected. So Ro Khanna says, I welcome primary challengers. I got nothing to worry about. I got nothing to, fear. I got nothing to hide about because I know what I'm doing. I'm confident in the job that I'm doing. And so notice every other Democratic politician who's not populist left, they're scared of these primary challenges and they get offended at the idea of even floating them. They want like, well, oh no, what do you mean? I have job security now, right? Because I'm a corporatist who got elected with a fucking tiny percentage of the vote that came out to vote for me in an election nobody even came out to vote for. So I'm good now, right? Don't I have job security? How dare you, float the idea of maybe primarying me because I took money from fucking whatever Merrill Lynch, or I took money from the defense industry or what have you. So they're all so fucking entitled. Like, they don't know why they're there. They don't know what their job is supposed to be. They don't understand that primaries are a good thing. It strengthens the party. In fact, that's what Shoykat Chakrabarty, who's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's top staffer, chief of staff, or whatever the fuck it's called, he tweeted that. He's like, okay, so let me get this straight. The corporate Democrats now want to primary Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, so at least we can all now agree that primaries are good, right? At least we all agree to that now, because you're on the record. You're saying primaries are good. But see, what they do is they do cynical weaponization. So they say, scream at you to unify with them if one of them is elected and you want to primary them. Oh, what are you doing? Party unity. How dare you? No primaries. Primaries are bad. They're so rude. But then when you reverse it, and it's somebody who's actually representing the people who's in power, then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, primaries are great, and we can strengthen the party, and we'll do that. What happened to unity? I thought you said you believed in unity. But no, Shoykat's right. Primaries are a good thing. Primaries are a positive thing. Primaries will determine who's actually representing the people. And obviously we've got to get the money out of politics, because that sometimes skews the situation. But yeah, ultimately, as long as we have people running on small dollar donations, and as long as we have a fair fight with equal megaphones, yeah, primary all day long. So I'm not even offended by this. I just think it's funny that they think they even have a prayer to defeat her. Anybody you throw at her, she will defeat. In fact, she should probably run for Senate next time she runs, because I don't think they have the weapons necessary to fight back against her and win. I just don't think they do. Because they've been trying and they've been failing. And in the similar way, like with Bernie, every time they try to go after Bernie, they make him stronger. Honestly, it's the same kind of thing with Trump. Anytime the mainstream media goes after Trump with shitty arguments, they make him stronger. So it's the same thing with AOC. They try to go after her and they make her stronger because, I don't know if you know this, she can respond. She can respond to you. And that's what she's been doing. Whether it's attacks from corporate Democrats or attacks from Republicans, she responds. And she usually wins. So I just find it hilarious that we finally get a politician in there who's very popular, represents working people, and also checks those diversity boxes that the corporate Democrats say they care so much about because they care so deeply about identity politics. A young woman of color. I mean, that should be, in their minds, oh my God, I'm never allowed to criticize her ever because she checks all those boxes. But all that gets thrown out the window because ultimately, the corporate Democrats, what they really care about is protecting their donors and giving you 2% change. Not representing the will of the people, not representing working people, not fighting, but doing the bidding of their donors and not rocking the boat and staying within party politics. And now that we have somebody who's popular and who stepped outside of that framework and is representing the people, they should be loving it and embracing it because it actually helps the Democratic Party, but no. They're not doing that. They want to take her out because she stepped out of line by being too hard on the donor class, too hard on the party leaders. Well, it's a new day in America. So you guys better get used to this because all your old, shitty party machine politic tricks, they're not going to work anymore. They're not going to work anymore. Because now we have these candidates doing the right thing, and also you have a giant media apparatus supporting these candidates. Virtually all of left new media is here to watch the corporate Democrats like a hawk and call out their bullshit. So be careful what you wish for. Oh, you want to primary her? Go right ahead. I'd love to have a laugh that's akin to the kind of laughs I've been having at Howard Schultz's expense. Because no doubt, if they do primary her, it'll be somebody with less than no prayer of winning and somebody who will expose the house of cards and the paper tiger that the corporate Democrat establishment is. And I told you that too. For the longest time, I told you that the Democratic establishment is a house of cards because they're not really representing the popular will of the people. They're representing their donors, and deep down voters know this. So when you have somebody who comes along who really fights for the people, they blow up that whole system. And that's what's happening here. And they are literally nervous and scared when they see the giant following she's amassed and the social media numbers that she has. They're scared of it. And, you want to get some of that? Very simple. Stop taking the corporate money. Stop taking the big money bundling money. Big money bundling money. Well said, Kyle. Stop having those, dinners that are thousands of dollars per plate, and then you raise money that way. Raise in small dollar donations and fight for the policies the people want, and then you'll get massively popular too. It's not that hard to figure out.